hell's that? Ah. Yes? How can I help? I'll be there immediately. Ah, yeah, of course. Can't. Let's go. What? Go, go, go. Get out of there. All right. Hello, and welcome to Yes? How can I help? In this series, I take questions from quite literally everyone in the world on quite literally any and every subject in the world. Sometimes my answers are questioned by people in the comments as they interact understandably with the content. Last week, a number of people questioned the decision to denounce warm bananas. You shouldn't have a banana hot. Take, pal! So this is quite a high pressure job, and I do like birds and everything, but there's obviously a time and a place. You'll know if you watched last week. There are enemies. We have enemies. We now know of the existence of a rival series called No, I'm Not Going to Help. A sperm is millions of little creatures, and a very early contender for a most sour facial expression of 2025. Anyway, sperm are little friends, and the agents of that show are everywhere. Try to disrail my attempts to help you. Just to finish what I was saying about bananas, I accept that you may sometimes find the answers to the questions unpalatable, but just a reminder, hello, someone's gawping out of the window of the car there, almost certainly an agent of the Unlocked. Just a reminder again, my answers are always right. I speak with 100% authority, having ingested the contents of every correct book in the world, and I'm doing this as a free service in order to reclaim humanity from the possible intellectual clutches, the ersatz clutches of artificial intelligence. 10 minutes on the clock, please, Alex. We don't want a repeat of last week's forgetting gate. And we're to use that phrase. And
you shouldn't
use that phrase. And I'm gonna say, if you could only eat one coconut a day, would each day be equally satisfying? Nah, because a huge number of factors are at play in terms of whether a day is satisfying. But even if you were to eat exactly one coconut every day for the rest of your life, there would still be days when you narrowly missed the bus, other days when you narrowly got it. That's happened to me this morning. There'd be days when your coffee was too hot or too cold. There are an enormous number of little pluses and minuses, little victories and defeats, making up the sort of satisfaction vector of every day. And that's why, with the best will in the world, I don't think that however standardised your coconut eating regime is, I don't think that is the major factor, unless you are so into coconuts that your main thing in the day is how much coconut you're getting into. Just watch out, Alex. So that I don't necessarily think was an enemy agent, but once you start knowing they're out there, you do, of course, you see them everywhere.
Are you paranoid?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Well, and it's not necessarily paranoia if you're right, to paraphrase Kurt Cobain. Now, this question merely says yes or nah. Brackets, the answer to this question will determine my entire future. TY, smiles. TY means thank you.
You do know everything.
Well, yeah, sometimes I see people in the comments saying, who told him about we are so back? Or like, who taught him to say this or that? Please be aware, I'm not some sort of old miser that sits in his house waiting for people to shovel neologisms into his mouth like so many lozenges. I'm actually credited with having invented quite a lot of the phrases you see and hear around you. I'm generally regarded as the person who pioneered saying, among other things, well, 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 and so there you go. Those are just two of my phrases. So please assume that every phrase I use is just coming from my...
Who invented hello, hello, hello?
I'm going to use the phrase natural brain. Hello, hello, hello was invented by the first policeman to say it in a pantomime. So, yes or nah, the question determines my entire future. Brackets, also I'm not from Newcastle. Thank you to all of you in the comments last week who made it clear whether or not you were in Newcastle. Very much as expected, almost all of you weren't, but a couple by contrast, were.
My mum lied and said she was.
Well, this is the thing. We trust people to be honest with that and with every question that we pose. Without trust, this entire enterprise falls apart, doesn't it? And so does society. And that's why we are where we are. All right, back to your question, Willow. I imagine people expect me to say yes here, because I seem like the sort of general positive vibes guy who would, you know, automatically say, yeah, embrace possibilities, go for it, go where life takes you, where life's tides take you. But for whatever reason, my gut feeling is nah. I don't think you've thought it through enough. I don't think you're aware of the possible negative consequences. I think you're being too hasty. So nah, and good luck with, as you put it, your entire future. Should the government implement the equivalent of a Dewey Decimal System for supermarkets, a universal filing system which allows any customer to walk into any supermarket and know exactly where every item is located?
God, that's good.
Well, it's more than good. I'm going to come on to how good this is in a minute. And if they did, what specific food items should be classed, respectively, or classified as 000 and 999? This is the 29th episode of this bullshit. And just now and again, somebody says something that makes me think the world is still a viable, livable place. This is, without doubt, the best suggestion that anyone's ever made on this series or across the board since civilization began. Supermarkets, frequently bewildering, frustrating places. Every supermarket's layout is different, and very often a supermarket's own layout is different even from one week to the next. All of this will, I was going to say would, but it's will, because we are going to do this. All of this uncertainty and frustration, as Alex nearly slides over in the mud, will be obliterated by the Universal Supermarket Filing System, or USFS, which JG9125 and I, because we're going in half and half on this, I think, JG.
Oh, wow.
Yes, yeah, well, you can also, we'll have a chat separately, Alex, but JG9125 and I are gonna change the way you shop in supermarkets. This is huge. I am fucking sorry for my French. Absolutely psyched, JG. Please get in touch. What time is that?
5 minutes. We've done
Of course
two
it is,
questions.
because everything is good now. Because it doesn't matter how many questions there are. Supermarket shopping, one of life's minor ordeals, has been revolutionised by, to a large extent, me, with a little bit of help from JG9125. As I say, JG, please reach out in the comments or message me privately or come round to my house. We'll thrash out the details. This will be rolled out in every supermarket in the land in the next 12 months. We will be not just rich, which is what this is all about, but influential. This is so good. People don't even know how good it's going to be in Asda a year from now. So just come down to a couple of the specifics of your question, JG. 000 should be, I think, the most common items. Bread, milk, the things you want to just pop in for. And 999 should be the least bought item in the supermarket, which is, if I'm not mistaken, figs or fig rolls. But the only thing is, 999, of course, is the fire friends and the police friends and so on. So actually 998 should be figs, 999 should be police equipment. You know that section in the supermarket, police equipment and fire equipment. One more time then for JG9125, who has made me and all of us very happy and rich. But it has left us with quite a lot of questions to do in a small amount of time now. 2025 began with a WTF. Wednesday, then Thursday, then Friday, just like 2020. Is this a bad omen or nah? Fair question. There's no denying 2020 was, what should we say, a bit of a doozy, if I may use that word. And I have used it, but I don't think anyone knows what doozy means, because I've heard it means something very good or very bad. Dog shitting, unfortunately.
Yes, 2 in a row.
Yeah, it was one last time as well.
Yeah.
Goodness me.
How did you miss the dog shitting show?
Well, I try to miss them where possible. I don't really.
That was my Hitchcock.
I'd have a very different life if I sort of wandered around trying to watch animals go to the toilet.
It was almost in the same spot.
Well,
this
there
is
you
remarkable.
go. There you go. And that's the sort of thing that you start to notice when supermarkets finally make sense. Also, that's probably to do with the enemy agents. That's probably to do with the fucking the mob.
That's where they go.
No, I'm not going to help. Yeah, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. And they're metaphorically pooing on our enterprise here. Anyway, 2020, as I say, was a troublesome year. I think we won't know whether it's bad to start Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, what the fuck, WTF, until we know whether this year also involves things like a pandemic and all of the associated problems. So we've just got to keep a real eye on it. And if 2025 goes the way of 2020, then it is time to start not having Wednesday, then Thursday, then Friday at the start of years. How exactly we engineer that, I don't know, but I would suggest the common sense approach is the introduction of a new day, which I'm going to call Jugs Day. Just because very few abbreviations have a J in. No, not jugs as in tits, Alex, if that's what you were thinking. I think you were. I saw you do tits face.
Tits face.
Tits face. I've done that thing. I'm happy, despite having not achieved a great deal of the things I thought I would have by now.
Show off.
Question. Show off, but also lose it. Well, no, that's the question, actually. Should I raise my standards back up and be anxious and driven and such? Yeah or nah? Nah. If you're happy with your rather low level of attainment, then that is absolutely fine. Happiness is much more important.
Like you're giving them a report.
Well, yeah. Look, this is a C- person, but in their head they're B+, and your head, the old noggin, that's where it really matters. Don't worry about what's in your bank balance, although it is useful to have money. Don't worry about what those three men think of you. I'm not going to. Old gold, frankincense and myrrh over there. Wrong season, pals. Where were you a month ago? Yeah, no, crack on. No one needs to be more anxious and driven and such. The only really important bar to raise, as I say, is the one in your head. Can a Jaffa cake be considered a fruit and one of my 5 a day? I'm afraid not. No, the orangey bit of a Jaffa cake is not sufficiently allied with actual oranges, to be considered part of your fruit intake.
Is it a cake or a biscuit?
Well, thereby hangs a debate, Alex, which I don't think we've got time to go into.
Could you have a Jaffa cake?
How much time have we got? Because Jaffa cakes is the definition of a minefield.
For 15 seconds.
Okay. Well, no, but you don't have to tell them whether you've had your 5 a day. You can declare it. You get away with it. We'll add a tiny amount of time because somebody talks about me and Yhcih and our new business venture, philanthropic enterprise. How can we improve the popularity of baguettes outside of the garlic bread community, not from Newcastle? Very simply. If we really want to boost garlic bread, we need a mass marketing campaign. There should be giant garlic breads painted across this grass, for example. Everyone's clothes should have pictures of garlic bread. We need to invest enormous amounts on garlic bread publicity if we're serious, as we are, about making garlic bread as big as it should be. What's the deal with geese? Yeah, they're up to their own thing. We don't need to worry about them. Probably time for one more. I don't have a Christmas jumper. I was given a t-shirt for Christmas that says, "This is my Christmas jumper." Can I wear it throughout the year without looking weirder than normal? Or nah? What I would suggest is writing, "These are my Christmas trousers" on your trousers. "This is my Christmas face" on your face. Basically labelling every part of your body and clothing as Christmas, and then at least it's a look across the board. You will look a little bit weird. People will certainly pay you attention. And on the subject of attention, thank you for your attention during this, the 29th outing of Yes, How Can I Help? And the first one, really, to yield a major life-changing moment. Again, not just for me or Alex or Yhcih, but largely because of my sort of quick thinking and innovation. Bouncing off the comment, there's going to be a revolution in the way that we shop in supermarkets. If you think that means we don't need any more questions, or that you shouldn't interact with it. Oh, plain, but obscured plane. So that's a category we haven't had that often.
We have had.
We know there's a plane there, unless there's a man in the sky, in the cloud going, "Rrr," but we can't be sure. With the evidence of our own eyes isn't enough on its own. And that's also how we know about things like God and ghosties. So, well, except some people have seen ghosts, and a few people believe they've seen God. Anyway, look, stop distracting me. This has been Yes, How Can I Help? 29. Please keep your questions coming by interacting with the content. And also, if you want in the content to submit congratulations to me and Yhcih as we embark on our supermarket plan, or if you want to suggest, actually don't suggest alterations to the plan will come together. The seed of the idea is there. Despite the fact that I, along with my business partner, I'm on the verge of becoming almost 100% a supermarket guy, I will still be back with future episodes of this We love your questions, we love your interactions. You no longer need to specify whether or not you are from Newcastle upon Tyne. See you next time. Thank you.
I like the walkway. It's a new thing. I like it.
It's good, isn't it? Yeah.